there. Waiting for Facebook. My live looks like I am live. Sweet. I hate technology when it starts to fail. Make sure that looks like I'm live. I think I am. Sweet. I am live. Awesome. Awesome. Let me get up other notes. Oh, what is up? Sorry I missed you guys on Monday night yesterday, but I had some stuff going on. But hey, you can't control your health too much. But, anyways, we're back here Tuesday night, call in live, Northwest Arkansas BMX podcast. So, first and foremost, we do this every show. Thanks to our big supporters, Beer Budget BMX, Rick Carter, and Mike Melvin over there on the West Coast. All Things BMX, Justin and Chris Spears. Awesome podcast over there. Going Rogue BMX. Awesome little podcast going on there, Eastern Texas. BMX Breakthrough. Awesome podcasts and shows with Jay Oaks. Yeah, like I said, technology. AOS Squared, awesome team here in Northwest Arkansas. Core Bierman and Charles Bierman, awesome team. The Jones Center for Families, Runway Bike Park, best place to hang around, train, pump track. They have it all, except the BMX track, of course. But hey, that's fine. I'll take a pump track any day of the week. Northwest Arkansas BMX. We are getting the track soon. That's the only thing I can technically say for right now. We're getting the track. Land's there, everything's there. We just gotta wait. Dance Comp. Of course, I'm sponsored by Dance Comp on my own team. And of course, one of the show sponsors, Feed the Flock 365. If you live in the state of Arkansas, if you have an event, want a food vendor, head up Feed the Flock 365. Tell them Arthur Anders sent you your way. So, man, what a long weekend. Of course, over in Oklahoma, they had the Connect Ford Challenge going on, and man, that was so fun. Unfortunately, I only got to do one of them. Of course, one of the races canceled. Yukon had a really good turnout. Hardesty had a great turnout with 38 motos. It looked like a lot of fun over at Hardesty. Of course, Sunday, it rained. We've been having rain a whole lot the last 2-3 weeks. And, unfortunately, that Mays County had to cancel because their entire track was pretty much a swamp. And there was puddles everywhere and everything. That's unfortunate. But hey, that they gave everyone else a little bit more time on the new Sand Springs track that just got rebuilt a few weeks ago. And a few of us went down to the pump track there in Eastern Tulsa, which it's a fun little pump track. Nothing like Springdale, but still a fun little pump track with a little jump line on the outside of it. And man, Sand Springs though, If you guys haven't been to Sand Springs since they did the track rebuild, holy cow. What a track rebuild. They definitely changed up everything for every track in Oklahoma. I mean, almost every single jump there is lippy. Their turns are awesome. Us I'm glad they redid turn 3, especially turn 3 is, like, really short, really small. Now it's just huge. So, can't wait to run side hacks on that track. But, yeah, Sand Springs BMX, they had 48 motos, and those 48 motos, they were all action packed from the little striders all the way to the old man, what a day at Sand Springs. Of course, Ashley and PJ Baker, they've done a great job. Their group of volunteers, they done a heck of a job turning that track around to where it was 10 years ago. So that was pretty cool. Of course, we got a national coming up this week here in Tulsa. That's the Legacy Nationals. Of course, if you haven't seen my post in the last couple weeks, we are going to be doing side hack racing on Saturday. So if you guys are coming out, checking out Legacy Nationals, be there Saturday. Of course, if there is 4 or more side hack teams, we will be running qualifying time trials. If we have 4 or less side hack teams, we'll be just going straight to the show. It's going to be right before the main event and during intermission, and that's going to be fun. I mean, I'm getting to help put that on and organize that whole thing. That's, of course, a lot of people were on the fence about racing side hacks at Hardesty because of the starting hill and everything. We've ran side hacks at Hardesty for the last, what, 2, 3 years. And of course, each time it gets funner and funner. Last year, of course, Gork Bonnet was saying like there's no side hack contact and the newer age of side hacks. We kind of proved him wrong there at Hardesty, where we was just bashing each other in with the side hacks coming out of turn 2. It was all fun. So yeah, side hacks on Saturday. If you guys haven't checked out the headquarters in Tulsa, if you're going there for the first time this weekend, check out the National BMX Hall of Fame Museum. And like there's a lot of cool stuff. Ah, yeah, we're gonna run qualifying time trials in the parking lot, old school style. But like I said, if we have 4 or less teams, then we're gonna just go straight on to the show during intermission. Of course, like USA BMX said they're a little bit busy, they can't really organize the race. But like fortunate for a bunch of us here in Arkansas and Oklahoma, we get the opportunity to showcase right before Coop Fest coming up here in a few weeks. But you gotta take what you can get. But yeah, a lot of great things going on this week. Like I said, Legacy Nationals. I don't know if Mays County's going to run their local race like they usually do on Saturday night, but they do. Hopefully, it doesn't rain. Like we've been getting a bunch of rain recently, and I think we're all tired of it. But yeah, I do have to drop this whole announcement, but NWA BMX Vintage BMX Show will be doing a announcement this Friday at was that 11 o'clock, and they're going to be dropping a big announcement with the, guest announcer and the grand marshal for the pump track race. So that's gonna be a big one. So I think it's gonna be a it might be a straight line, I'm not sure. It Of course, we're gonna cross the bridge when it comes to it, but, like I said, we gotta do what we have with what we have, and if we have to do it in the parking lot, then great. If we can do it on the track, then that's great, but we're gonna make it happen. So, but anyways, yeah, like I said, Coot Fest is coming up here in a few weeks. May 23rd through the 24th. We're gonna have side hack pit bikes on 16-inch, 80s, 70s, and cruisers. Sunday 70s race, so they'll be racing on the old 70s Schwinn Stingrays. I know they're having like a whole series this year with the Schwinn Stingray, so that was pretty fun last year. Of course, a couple of guys broke some chains, but hey, we always enjoy a good laugh when they're going to down a downhill track. But yeah, yeah. Hey, like I said, if we have to do a qualifier in the parking lot, great. If we get to do it on the track, great. But the point is, we get to do it, and we get to be a part of the Legacy Nationals. That's pretty much the whole thing of every year. Like, what's the legacy of BMX, and like, how can we interpret the grassroots of BMX? Hey, I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, yeah, we're gonna be running side hack Saturday. Of course, it's not gonna be like live on YouTube. It's gonna be on what's that other streaming service they use? Anyways, because it's a pro race. So of course you're gonna catch it about like 2, 3 days later on. Yeah, you know, over the last what 3 years, I've been going to Hardesty for Legacy Nationals. Maybe 3 or 4 years, maybe. Anyways, like the first time we had Legacy Nationals there, it was big. It was really cool. And then the amount of motos kind of died down, but it was dying down in a slow pace. Well, 2 years ago, whenever they had Legacy Nationals, the moto count was so low, it was very unbelievable. Like, so it went from close to 200 motos. Then 2024 Friday night, it was 100 and I want to say it was 129 motos. Saturday, where everyone starts showing up, everyone comes to track races. I think we ended up with 142 motos, which that was pretty sad to just see the amount of motos there at the headquarters, the mothership of BMX. I could agree with that. That there's not really much love for side hacks there. I mean, side hacks, and of course, like throughout the years, for example, the Stasic race, the Stasic bikes. When they first introduced those STACYC bikes, when they got the headquarters in, I think it was what was it, 2021 when this happened. So, when they're like, "Okay, we're gonna have STACYC bikes at the Pro Spectacular." Cool, whatever. But when they said, "Well, instead of, like, side hacks, we're gonna run STACYC in that time slot," that really ticked off everybody across the country, and not just the country, the world, because side hacks, believe it or not, is the big highlight of the Pro Spectacular. And, of course, you guys probably seen petitions that entire year of trying to bring back the side hacks to grands, and, like, of course, following year, the side hacks were back, STACYCs were out. Then 2023, they brought them back, but the only thing that you had to do to qualify is go to Hardesty, qualify out, and, a lot of people hated that because, at that point, Hardesty wasn't meant for side hacks. But yet again, they ran side hack qualifiers for grands. 2014, um, Rick Carter, you remember this. We went out there, we qualified for grands, and man, your team had a rough time just getting down the first straightaway with a twisted chain. But like for me, that was fun because I get the race with a lot of cool people. But last year really kind of hit home hard where like the local track had to step up because USA BMX didn't want hacks at the Pro Spectacular. And Sand Springs BMX, kudos to them because they really stepped up. Of course, they showed more support to the side hacks than any other track I've seen around. Yeah, I give Hardison some props because they ran some hack races, but Sand Springs, they truly love side hack. So I give Sand Springs a big set of props for that. So yeah, I don't really think like USA BMX is like showing that kind of love to side hacks. Yeah, yeah, it's kind of weird that like USA BMX to me they're trying to get back to the grassroots, but at the same time they're not. Say bring back kind of the old school downhill style tracks and not like I understand the cover tracks. I understand like rain outs at big races, but you gotta understand like 70s and 80s, you guys had those guys that raced back then didn't have cover tracks, didn't have slurry, didn't have all kinds of cool stuff that we have today. They had nothing but dirt and mud. So yeah, it's just I would like to see them actually go back to their grassroots because that's what kept the sport interesting and it kept it fun. Oh yeah. But like this past year at Sand Springs for the Intergalactical Side Hack Championship, we had what an entire two full gates, I think, full of hacks. And Rick, you were with Charles in the A main. I was in the B main. Carnage was all over the place. Everyone was up in the air. Just it was so fun. It that environment, especially at Sand Springs. I mean that race that night was probably the best race at Sand Springs on side hack because you had the grands right around just a couple days away. A lot of people showing up. They had what, close to 80 motos, and it was just fantastic just seeing the crowd cheering everybody on. That was awesome. Yeah, yeah. When I first started racing, it was all dirt. Yeah, the from the gate to the 30-foot line, that was asphalt, but the rest was dirt, and I remember going out there every day, every time we practiced, rake, shovel, pack. I mean, that was the part of it truly loved was being on the real dirt, not soul tack, not slurry, and definitely not asphalt, but, like, I really enjoyed that. Yeah, we had about 8 hacks at, Intergalactical Side Hack, which that kind of upset me just a little bit because year before we had 16 teams show up, but like I said, kudos to Sand Springs and their crew. They kept it up, and, I have to give a big hand to, like, all the teams that showed up, especially that was that number 0 bike that was out there. I don't know if that was from Gretna or not, but, they did a great job. They beat the Torker boys, actually, but like I said, we gotta do what we gotta do to bring side act to the spotlight no matter what it takes, and, of course, I know I talked to Dan earlier about, like, trying to spread the love to the Louisiana area, the Texas area, for the side hack racing, and, that's one of the things, like, got me thinking, going back to my roots. When I first started side hack racing, like, first time I started, riding a side hack, it wasn't at a race. It was, like, at a '80s night race, but, like, me and my buddy that was from my hometown went up there just to have fun. We had the state final the next day. Of course, it would be the night that I turned intermediate, but, hey, we had fun on our first rides of side hack, and so, like, I mean, I have an entire video of me and him going around the track. It was an old school style track, a big U inside of a little U, nothing but all dirt, low turns, small cool jumps. But like after that, that kind of got me going on my side hack journey. 2019, I pretty much one of my buddies built me a side hack. Of course, he raced side hack back in the good old days, and right before USA BMX, came in when it was NBL and ABA. So, like, he knew what he was doing on building hacks. So, yeah, hack 1 was pretty fun until it wasn't, became a death trap, but, like, I've been at it for a while, and 2020 went to Grands. Well, they beat it at Grands in 2019, 2020 went and raced. Of course, Radical Brothers, that's what we were called back then, made the jerseys and everything. Had a mechanical failure on the gate where the back wheel just came loose for I don't know what reason it came loose, but yeah. And then, of course, broke uh had the wreck of 22 down at Bonsai BMX for the Arkansas State final one year, and I mean, we were out front, so I shouldn't went that hard, but anyways, yeah, we broke the side hack at the weld. Of course, we both got injured. Somehow, 2 months later, I showed back up on the gate for the intergalactical side hack race at the Grands. Um, we did pretty well, but, you know, if I didn't have my injury, it would have been a lot different. But of course, like you can follow my side hack story there. Um, but yeah, like it's trying to build the side hack communities, and I do give a big shout out to these two all the time because if it wasn't for these two, I wouldn't be on a hack today. And those are the Torker boys, Nate and David Ramey. Those guys really came in, and of course, I had part of a hack, but I got had all most of the pieces to put together. They welded the hack together, and that's the hack that you see today. That's hack number two. So a big shout out to the Torker boys. Because for a long time I was the only side hack rider around, and then Torker came in. So that's awesome. Like they really came through for me for that. But talking about side hacks, and I did mention somewhat of this event, but like I said, Dan from Going Rogue texted me earlier, well, called me earlier for this really cool event going on that they're helping putting on later this year in June 27th at Shreveport, Louisiana, Cargill Park. Great track. I've been down there probably one time I've been down there. Great old school track. Great people from what I remember. Of course, it's been 9 years already. I haven't been down there since like 2017. But anyways, like they're putting on a side hack showdown down there during the Louisiana State qualifier and the Louisiana Gold Cup qualifier. So that's something really cool that they came up with, and like they have so much cool stuff going on down there. And I really see potential for them building up the side hack community down there. So it's not just Arkansas, it's not just Oklahoma, and it's not just the West Coast coming after everybody else, but like Louisiana has potential to bring in a lot of side hack racers. Texas, you too. Uh, it's been a while since I actually seen Texas riders from the side hack community. Let me see if I get all the details here. And then if you want to jump on, call in, give a little bit more explanation on the event, you're more than welcome. The call in button is on, so we don't have a button in the background just yet, but that's something that I'm working on. What's up, Manda Lewis? Jim Price, welcome to the chat. It's the Quad State Showdown. Oh, that's what you're going to call it. Yeah, yeah, it's really does sound like a really cool event. When Dan called me up earlier, I'm like, okay, okay, this is gonna be really good. So yeah, we got some side hack racing going down this summer. Heck, there might be a series going on in the Midwest. You never know. They might be part of it. So, pretty much is what to expect is to of course, side hack race is the entry fee is free. So this one's going to be a good one because you get to jump in and have some fun with a free entry fee. Of course, wild turns, close battles, nonstop action from the gate to the finish line. Um, of course, if you got a side hack team, then it's time to show up, show out. So it sounds like I'm gonna be down there. I might be able to pull a couple strings and be down there. Of course, like free entry fees being paid by bikes etc, which is like a $20 value. Of course, uh best dress. Of course, you do get cash prizes for was that the top 3? Yeah, top 3 payout. So, of course, Bikes ETC also matches the cash payout, which that's double the payout. So you might want to just jump on that and have some fun. Of course, there is a award, David Ramey. You're gonna hate me for this, but of course there is a award for the best dress hack wins $50 cash. That's huge. So yeah, that's really huge. So yeah, first place hardware plus money payout. Second place hardware plus money payout. Third place hardware. Um, I was told it that go down to the Facebook Messenger where you guys sent me all that information, and then you could call me on the podcast page, or he has my number, so you can call in either way. Let me get this stuff set up. Hold up. Oh, what is up? Dan from Going Road BMX podcast. How's it going?
What's up, Mark?
Not much, not much. So, so,
Check shout out there.
oh yeah. So Dan, tell us like what's going on down there in Louisiana with the side hacks, and you have this big event going on.
So yeah, we been on the phone with Creighton Cochran, which is TO of Cargill Park, and he's also the owner of Bike Etc. there in Bossier City. Um, and I talking with him about getting side hacks going. He said, "Man, let's do something." So he is he's paying every hack entry fee, like Etc. is, and then however many we have, they're going to double it. So it doesn't cost any other hackers, you know, any money to get in. Um, and so if we get enough people, there'll be 3 payouts: first, second, third. Right now, there's just going to be first, second, along with some trophies that'll be given out and some hardware. Janelle's working on some more sponsors for giveaways and everything with the Going Road podcast. So, and then once you said it just a little while ago that the best dress hack is $50 cash. So everything's going to be cash plus hardware plus giveaways. So it's going to be. We was trying to go for 2 days. We think we're just going to draw more of a crowd for just the Saturday, which is the state race. And I've spoken with Clark Dufresne down in Gretna. They might be bringing 2 hacks up. You're going to be bringing one. You're going to get in touch with your boys and everything. Well, I mean, we're going to blast this thing out. It's not till the 27th of June, so that'll give us some time to get everything going. And
I don't know if anyone can hear him. Guys in the chat, can you hear if he's on the line?
What?
Well,
nobody can hear me. Yeah, nobody can hear.
Um,
It's all good, man. Just keep going with it.
All right, yeah.
What?
He should
No,
be.
don't worry about it.
Yeah. But
You just keep
anyways,
broadcasting it.
all right. Well, anyways, like, yeah. So that was a really cool event when every gave me the ideas. That's really cool.
Yeah. But, yeah, well, we think it is, and like I said, we'll get it going, and we're gonna blast and everybody share it and everything. Let's get as much going and try to grow this down here. In the South. And then you was talking about that zero number plate. That is Gretna boys.
I figured because we've been in the gate with them a couple of times at the Grands.
Yeah. Well, our team was there a couple of weeks ago when we was down there with them, and you know, hell, he had a broke arm and just smoked our ass. That's what he did. And but it was cool. It was the first time the Hacks been on track. It was the first time they actually had a real race there for Hacks besides just the two that are down there. So it was cool. We get enough people, then maybe we can put together a four-state race. Texas, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Louisiana, and let's grow this thing, man.
Yeah, I mean, like I was telling you guys earlier, like I started really small. I was the only side hack racer in the area for several years. Didn't have a hack until 2019, and then finally got a hack. Broke my hack a few years later, and like the Torker boys helped me out with getting a new side hack.
Right. Yeah, that's a cool story. Thought it was real cool. Well, I'm going to jump off here and let you get back to your podcast and everything, so I can turn you back up on the television and everything and listen to you.
All
And
right.
thank you for having me on. And let's grow it, baby.
Oh yeah, let's grow.
All right. Well, I'll let you later.
All right, see you around. All right, guys. Well, of course, technical issues, um, but yeah, like great stuff coming out of Louisiana, great stuff coming out of Eastern Texas. Love the love for the side hack community. We've been growing it here in Arkansas and Oklahoma for what past 2-3 years. So it's been great. It's really been great. So yeah, it, that's gonna be a fun time. So let's see. But yeah, like Dan said, side hack showdown going down, Cargill Park, BMX, Shreveport, Louisiana, June 27th. That's gonna be fun. Cash prize for the top two. Of course, double the cash prizes. It sounds like it's gonna be a lot of fun. I got to get down there. I don't know if my monkey's gonna be able to show up. I'll find someone to throw on there. Um, like I said, experienced pilot for a long time. Been piloting side hacks ever since I started. So that's that should make everyone feel safe. So we also got some events coming up here in the next couple months, actually. Legacy Nationals this weekend, of course. Coop Fest going down in Stillwater, Oklahoma, May 23rd through the 24th. The SE Mid South Rideout's going to be going on in Tulsa, Oklahoma, May 29th through the 30th. Ah, sweet. Glad that you guys have plenty of monkeys. I might use one. And trust me, they'll be safe. Um, Bentonville Bike Fest coming up June 12th through the 14th. If you haven't been to Bentonville Bike Fest, you're in the area, come on up. Of course, there is a entry fee just for spectators, but it's worth it. Like you get to see all the cool vendors. 8 Degree Pedals is going to be there. Of course, Straight Rhythm announced by Al Roybal over there on the West Coast. So, and then Marshall Gerke putting on the free Straight Rhythm clinic on Friday afternoon. That's gonna be fun. And yeah, of course, show's sponsor, Feed the Flock 365, gets a piece and gets a spot as a food truck vendor. So big shout out to them. They're going to be awesome. They're going to be a big supporter of me during the weekend, and yeah, it's going to be fun. Of course, um, I'm gonna be running a different jersey than like I normally do. Like, of course, I have the Northwest Arkansas BMX Brotherhood jerseys that I've been doing making for what, 3 years now. Yeah, 3 years now, and no, 2 years now actually. Running caveman since 23. Oh, Al is announcing at Hardesty this weekend. Oh, we gotta get him announcing on the side hack race. Oh, that sounds like it's gonna be fun. But yeah, Bentonville Bike Fest is gonna be fun. It's big. It's always been big. Sometimes I say, okay, yeah, this is gonna happen, but this event's always big every year, no matter if it storms, no matter if it is sunny, hot. Of course, we had tornadoes a couple of years ago, so that kind of put a little damper on things for Bike Fest, but it's been fun the last few times I've been to it. Of course, this is one I've been announcing for quite some time. I think since November, December. But of course, I'm gonna be taking the show on the road um, starting next month. Coop Fest is gonna be stop number one. There's gonna be several other stops. Bentonville Bike Fest is gonna be one of them. Gonna try to get Al Roybal on the show. A couple others on that show, and then of course we go into beginning of August. This is one thing that I've teased for quite some time, and that's the overseas BMX show. That is August 1st and August 10th. So there's two shows and uh, doing a little bit on vacation. So on the side. So that's gonna be fun. Of course, I won't be here. I won't be like anywhere around here. I'll be out of country, overseas on vacation. So I get to do a show while on vacation. So that's gonna be fun. But yeah, like man, it's been so much fun doing these things. Having the call-ins, side hacks. I think that between this show and Going Rogue, All Things BMX, Beer Budget, I mean, it's not but side hacks. So yeah, growing the side hack community is a big thing, and 70s and 80s they need to come back. So it's, yeah. But yeah, man. So yeah, so far, uh, as I know, I don't know if we're gonna have the Heatwave series, but like, of course, the Torker Boys is focusing on the 50th anniversary of Torker. So we might have a summer series for Side Hack that's gonna go right into Grand. So hopefully that works out. We're gonna have plenty of tracks to play with for this year. Sand Springs is one of them. Hardesty, they might get one or two. Um, but we're gonna what my idea originally was like having two different series in one like big part of the year. So say you have the Heat Wave series, but you also have state versus state, track versus track. So that's an idea I'm kind of tossing up in the air. Um, Got to talk with uh, few other people on that idea, but I think it'll be a great idea. But yeah, Yeah, with the whole side hack stuff, man, I've really enjoyed it over the years. Can't wait to see what this year holds with side hack. Louisiana, they're starting to grow their stuff. Oklahoma, Arkansas, we've been growing our stuff with side hack. Corey Bierman, welcome to the chat. I know you guys have some side hacks. Um, yeah, yeah. AOS squared, Oklahoma S squared team has a side hack. They're one of two side hack teams here in Northwest Arkansas. They are the two-time defending champions for the Heat Wave series. Of course, they have some fast guys on the side hack. Charles Bierman, 1 year. Yeah, 1 year they had Samuel Strecker. Last year they had Caleb Strecker at the helm. Man, those guys are fast. Um, they they gave the Torker boys a run for their money, most definitely. So yeah, glad to see you jump on, Cord. But yeah, a lot of side act stuff going on. I mean, I thought this was just gonna be like a short, sweet, to the point show, but side hacks, side hacks everywhere. Side okay, side hacks are probably the most funnest thing that you could possibly have, race, or be around than any other type of racing. Changed my mind. My bad, Cord. AOS squared. But yeah, changed my mind on that. Side hacks are the best thing to race, be around, get to watch than anything else. Take the Pro Spectacular, for example. Everyone loves the side hacks. But yeah, like I said, the call in chat's open. Anything cool going on this week, this past weekend? There's cool stuff going on this weekend. Who's going to Legacy Nationals this weekend? You know, I give a shout out to your team, Cord. But yeah, I think that's about it. What I had on my notes for tonight. Of course, starting next month, we'll be bringing guests onto the show. I'm still learning a few things with the podcast and what software we'll be using for the live stream. Right now, it's just Facebook and YouTube, but like we'll put on different live streams. So, oh, so the pit areas are going to be there for the state teams. That's awesome. Sweet. But anyways, guys, thank you for very much for jumping on. I think that's about it. Cause like I said, technical issues from the beginning. New carpet. Where's the new carpet? Oh yeah, I announced this at the last show, but I finally got my new number plate. But this thing is sick, dude. Yes, I still have the AOS squared number plate up here, but man, this is cool. This is so cool. Talking about going old school with the number plates. Holy cow, J Oaks, you did a great job on the number plate. Yeah. So next month, I'm really trying to push towards getting guests on the show. And like, of course, you have beer budget, they have guests. All things BMX, they have guests. Of course, going road, they have guests almost every other week. I want to try to push for that. So that's hopefully that'll be a big push for next month. Um, hopefully for two guests. I'm trying to line one up currently at Coop Fest. So we might have a surprise guest for Coop Fest for our first on the road tour stop, number one. And then, of course, trying to get Roy Ball in on the chat for the special guest for the Bentonville Bike Fest show. So hopefully that happens. But like I said, there's a few guests that I have in mind to see if they're wanting to do it. So, but uh, I guess so. I guess we'll have snacks, drinks, whatever. Just old fashioned chilling out on the podcast. So, but anyways, I'm gonna jump off here. Hope to see you guys live next week. Call in buttons always on. And yeah, can't wait. Hope if you're gonna be at Legacy Nationals this weekend, I hope to see you there Saturday. Hope you're ready to watch some side hack showdown going down during the intermission time period. And yeah, hope to see you guys around. Peace out.